Jonathan Nedeljkovic is the president of Under Armour Flag Football Canada. He is also the CEO and co-founder, and he's here today to chat with us about the rise in popularity for flag football, not only across the province, but across the country and some of the programs locally. Jonathan, you had a big announcement recently about Brantford. UA flag football will be coming to that center this coming fall. What excites you the most about that, and can you give us some of the details?
Absolutely. I think, like I said, Jason Nagy and his team there in Brantford have done an amazing job with their association over the years. And when I met him for the first time in regards to talking about UA flag football, thought it was a perfect opportunity for that community to really rally around getting it, from the youngest ages of kindergarten through to high school as part of their community. And with that being said, just super excited knowing what we've done here in Georgetown, a small town of 40,000. 3 years ago, we started UA Flag. It was kind of hard to get it off the ground, but when we actually partnered with Under Armour, it started to grow from there. And our first fall season, we were able to get 70 kids, and we're 255 to 300 strong now as we speak. Looking forward to the same thing happening out in Brantford.
If you'd like to find out more about UA Flag in Brantford, you can go to the Bison's website. That's bisonsfootball.ca. You mentioned Jason Nagy there. He's the president of the Brant and District Football Club. You won't find a more passionate football guy than Jason. He does a wonderful job, not only at the high school level, as well as with the Bisons, and now introducing this new program into Brantford this coming fall. What can you say about Jason and what he's doing for football in that area?
Yeah, I think it's a commitment. It's the commitment and going above and beyond that I see with Jason. Just the passion since day one. I think for his community, they're all really rallying around because it's the experience and the product that he's been able to offer, and the commitment to doing it right. It's so hard to market, obviously, football in general up here in Canada versus what you see in the U.S. But when you have a committed team like Jason has put together, it's a no-brainer as to the community rallying around it. It's going above and beyond and not stopping in regards to the product on the field. Anytime we used to visit Brantford, it's a class act in regards to the field that you're and the experience that your team comes out with. So
Other centers, London, Guelph, Niagara region. You mentioned Georgetown there starting in the fall of 17 and how you've been able to grow that into 250, 300 kids. Why is this working, in your opinion, Jonathan?
I think it's when you look at right now the more recent partnerships that have happened over the last year or so, with the NFLPA being so attached to our brand and Under the Lights in the U.S. It's that experience that the kids have on the field. And I think what parents are realizing when they drive up to that parking lot and they see the big UA flag canopies and the teardrop flags and the field set up, and you've got the tablecloth of Under Armour. It's really the operations and that experience, whether it be Friday night or whether it be on a weekend. Yes, it's we call it Friday night under the lights, but a lot of our leagues will run on the weekend just based on field availability. But it's just the parents never forget walking up, driving up to that field, letting their kids get on that field, and just really play and have fun. And if you look at the mix of kids in flag football, big, small, fast, slow, they all have a part in being on that field and catching the ball, throwing the ball, getting touchdowns. And parents and kids never forget it. We have kids from other sports that their parents are using flag football as a complementary sport to help them develop. And they say, listen, when Johnny gets up in the morning time, that's all he thinks about is, hey, Dad, give me the football and let's throw it so I can prepare for the game. It's just super exciting. People like Jason and our other operators, across Ontario have just done a good job. And a lot of that starts with the passion of just wanting to get more young kids on the field and active, both mentally and physically strong.
On a really cool experience, like you said, when you walk up to the field. But this is also, grassroots football, and it's skill development, and it's passing and running and learning the different football skills. Maybe they do end up playing tackle one day in the future, but there's also tons of opportunity from the flag perspective. You talked a little bit about the off-field stuff there. On the field, what can parents and players expect if they're hearing about UA flag football for the first time, Jonathan?
Yeah, they can expect their kids to have a lot of fun and camaraderie with the other kids on the field, and it's a little bit competitive, right? It's fun, it's competitive, and it's going to teach them life skills, right? How to get along with other kids on the field, how to work together, to get through adversity, right? Whether they're losing or winning, there's a lot of life lessons that the coaches will teach them through that. And the great thing about on the field is we've only got 9 or 10 kids per team. So with 6v6, 6 kids on the field at a time, the kids are getting a lot of playing time within that game, and everybody plays. So there's it's equal playing time that you're going to get, and that's why the kids are having fun. You're getting kids that have never played the game within 2 or 3 games that are catching that ball and getting a touchdown. That's always remembered. So.
Can you talk a little bit about the synergy between UA flag football and Ontario football?
Absolutely. I think if I look, the biggest thing I had said in the announcement that came out a couple months back was Ontario football. So Football Ontario, with the name change,
Yeah.
their commitment to grassroots football and understanding the importance of that. It starts at an early age. And that lends to the niche that we've created with UA flag football, that we start them at kindergarten, right? All the way up to high school. So it's just, we both have the same mandate in really getting as many kids out there, physically strong, mentally strong, to start to just have fun at such a young age. It's kind of funny. We always say coaching the kindergartens is kind of the initiation to all coaches, because like parents are thinking, hey, kindergarten, I can't get my kids out there. Yes, you can. Football Ontario has, the first down program, and our program of getting kids into skills and drills before the season starts is super important. And just teaching the kids to line up, stay behind the line until the ball is snapped and go in the right direction. Could be a challenge, but those are the first things that we're teaching them. But that discipline over time just catches up, and they slowly develop into the next set of skills that we want to train them on.
And that's the fun stuff to watch, right? Touchdowns are great, but you know what? There's nothing more enjoyable than watching little kids. And really, at the end of the day, it's about learning the game and loving the game and growing the game. Why do you think this has taken hold? In your opinion, why has the popularity risen in recent years? Maybe the last year and a half has helped a little bit, just in terms of there hasn't been able to be contact football because of the pandemic. And I know different organizations have ran flag football programs just to get the kids on the field. And I give those organizations a ton of credit during all of this to be able to get those youth back on the field, in the flag football setting. But this is about a long-term goal, and this is about, making this as big as possible. How is it working, and why is the popularity growing, Jonathan?
Well, I think we have to look down in the US, proof of concept. They've got at least a 3.3% penetration rate into kids aged 5 to 14 that are playing flag football.
Right.
So for us, looking at that opportunity, the gap in the opportunity here in Canada, I think it's a no-brainer for us in regards to the potential. Like, we're at under, I think, 0.5%. And it really comes down to the US in the southern states, where it's a lot warmer and stuff like that. They can play all year round. That's not stopping us, of course, because Canada is tough and strong, and we can play even in the winter time outside. Not that we have to be indoors, but I think it's just easy access to getting on a grass field, setting up 3 fields on 1 football field, and the ease of entry, right? And being able to get a field and get the kids on that field, just playing, right? You've got 9 or 10 kids per side per team, and you only need 4 or 5 teams to create a division that can be competitive locally. But then the great thing is that gives us an opportunity to go regional. So UA Flag is committed to not just having local leagues, but also out of that will come regional tournaments that we'll have, regional championships. Will then that'll then expand into national. Just to give you an example, after this fall season, we have a Under Armour combine we're going to do with all the players registered with UA Flag, and we're going to get the best of the best Canadian flag football players from grade 3 all the way up to grade 8, and we're sending three teams to Florida at the end of December to compete in the national championships. So super excited for that. And I think for us, when you speak to that long-term strategy and potential, it's creating events outside of the leagues that we run with the kids that is going to help us continue to grow. And it's easier to organize that.
Like you say, it's fun. It's got a little bit of competitiveness. The one thing I want to mention too quickly, we talked about Brantford there at the beginning with Jason Nagy under the Bison's football umbrella. Their program is a local league and it's a house league. Again, if you'd like to find out more information about that, it's at bisonsfootball.ca. And I know Jason, you talk about all the different things there. I know Jason's hoping, that it'll grow and expand and snowball out, and you'll have travel and different things like that in the future. Before I let you go, Jonathan, I would be remiss if I did not ask you about the Tri-City Outlaws. I got to know you a little bit when you were a running back there. Chris Newsom, Jeff Nozzle, Lee Becker, Sean Ash, just a couple of the names, and it brings back good memories for me. I know it does for you too. That 2011 season was pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it was, and for you to mention that and bring me back in time, it's funny how a decade can pass. But you know what, I miss those guys, and I miss looking back on that season and the commitment we made. Yeah, it just goes to show the commitment a team can put from the day one at the start of the season all the way through, and we were able to be Canadian champions. I'll never forget that.
What is the secret sauce with the Tri-City Outlaws? Again, we talk about, grassroots football, and obviously those guys are a little bit older and, have been through different leagues and different organizations, but we talk about passion, and you go to a practice and you won't find more passionate guys. They simply love it. Game day is obviously important, but there's something unique about the chemistry and the camaraderie with the Tri-City Outlaws. You were part of it. I know it was 10 years ago, but is Chris Newsom the driving force behind that, or what do you think?
Yeah, they say it starts at the top. Yeah, I got chills just as you were saying that, and going back in time for me there, I have to say.
It's true, though. It really is true. It's just something unique about the Outlaws, and the passion and the loyalty that those guys have is honestly unbelievable, John.
Yeah, and I think to that point, it starts at the beginning where you set that goal. And if you're setting that goal and you're announcing it loud and proud as coaches, as a team, and you're all committed to that, you begin with the end in mind and you work backwards. What type of commitment is going to be? And I think the setting the stage and the foundation, the expectations early has always been a part of the Tri-City brand and the Tri-City teams in the past, and continuing to do that. I can't see that DNA ever leaving them. Like I said, I've played for many teams in the NFC in the past, but that truly was, a committed team right from the start all the way through. And I'll tell you, like extra reps, like I've been with teams before where it's like, okay, the practice starts at this time and ends at this time. No, we're going overtime. We're getting extra reps, right? You got guys on the sideline that are running hills in between reps to get extra, prepared for the season. So, or the weekend to come.
Honestly, Jonathan, I love all of it. It's great to see what you're doing now with Under Armour flag football across the country. And there's nothing better than chatting Tri-City Outlaws. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to have a season the last couple of years. But, I certainly look forward with 519 Sports to get back with them, hopefully next spring when they get started back up in the NFC. If you want to find out more about anything we talked about here, it is at uaflag.com. You can find different leagues, regionals, camps, all that kind of stuff that Jonathan talked about. Specifically for Brantford, their registration for this fall is at bisonsfootball.ca. Jonathan, amazing to see you. Thanks for the time, and hopefully we'll chat again soon.
Likewise. Thank you very much, Darren.
For more highlights, visit our website, 519sportsonline.ca. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.